Okay, dear students, very good morning to all of you. So now basically you're in your 21 days orientation program. This is departmental presentation already you have seen. Now today some club, some institute sale program will start. So as it is already you have seen from the your program schedule that today it is for Institutions Innovation Council or IIC sale of Chaibasa Engineering College. So today, on behalf of this Institution Innovation Council, myself, Dr. Ranodip Kundu, will present this session. Now I'll share my slide here. I think all of you, all the students can, this slide is visible to all. And if any doubts or any question regarding this presentation or in between any that means presentation, whenever I will give this presentation, if you found any problem or any queries you have, you can ask me, or you can also raise your hand so that I can ask you by name. Okay, so I am sharing this particular sale or Institution Innovation Council of Chaibasa Engineering College. So it's a sale which is basically in line with Ministry of Innovation Council, or you can say Ministry of Education. This sale is basically a part of that means your educational purpose or any kind of innovative ideas, entrepreneurship process, all these things we will see. So in my presentation, that means next 1 hour, I will present this particular about this sale and why this sale is important for all students and what are the benefit actually you will get from this particular sale. So that means what we are actually offering for the students, and then some glimpses of our or basically our success story. That means from the beginning and right now what we have achieved. So these things we will discuss. Then we will also show you our council member, obviously faculty member as well as student member, and our social media platform where we are actually sharing our all the news and alls. So these things, then they are step by step we will see. Okay, so now here from the that means the things is basically innovative things, and here you can see one figure or one. So I'm requesting every student, please mute yourself while I'm presenting this particular session, so that everyone can understand my discussion, or everyone can listen carefully. Okay, so here you can see idea, creative, and business. So these three terms are basically the particular sale objective, because first, whenever students or faculty or anyone, if someone is thinking something, or basically the initial process is idea. So idea generation is the first initial process. Then the idea and the implementation of that idea into a model or a pilot project, that is our objective. So in between this idea to a pilot project, in between there is some guidelines, there is some process. So these are very important. So here you can see first idea, then your creativeness or your implementation part. Then after this implementation, and after whenever we will finalize our idea as a project or as a model, then we can start our business. So that means idea, creative, and business, these are inlined or step-by-step process for a particular development process or particular. Okay, now in the next slide, here why this IIC or Institution Innovation Council. Okay, so why, or basically what is this particular cell? So here you can see this cell, already I told you that is a part of Ministry of and Ministry of Innovative Council, that means MIC. So those basically actually they are actually systematically foster the culture of innovation among the higher education institutions. The primary mandate to MIC is to encourage, inspire, and nurture young students by supporting them to work with new ideas while they are formative years. Basically, you know that all the students, I will not specify any student, I'll rather say that all students have some ideas. Okay, so those ideas, if they are not getting some support doesn't mean that already that means all time it's money support or economical support. Sometimes they need some proper guidance. So without proper guidance, or without any motivation, or some any other support, like some laboratory support and other innovative cultural support, so without those support they cannot that means implement their ideas to a project or a pilot project. Okay, so that's why it's a culture, or this cell or this council basically give you or give all the students as well as faculty members this faculty, so all the students will get help from this particular cell. And here basically you know that particular cell is, as I am saying, that it is a regular process. So already previous day you have seen some program which has taken by Joya madam. So that is also a part of that particular program. So we will conduct so many programs so that student can inspire, student can get knowledge, or they are actually getting some also there. Whenever you will come in our college, you will also see that some teachers are constantly motivating students, constantly they are or regularly they are monitoring, they are supportive if they need some support, like some guidance. That means whenever he or she will do some project, so some technical support, some motivational support, they are constantly doing these things. Okay, next I'll just 1 second. Okay, so as you have seen that our college has been established this Institution Innovation Council, and we have been recognized by that means Government of India, which is basically already as we have started from 2018 and 19. So this certificate is our establishment certificate, from where you can see it is already established. Our college is already established, and every year these certificates are basically some performance certificate they are issuing. So I'll show current performance certificate in the last. I rather say that here you can see 5-star. So certificate के ऊपर में 5-star दिखाई दे रहे हैं. So every year it will start, and right now it is 21-22 के लिए start हो गया है. So यहाँ पे 5-star के ऊपर performance level decide होता है. So if our college is performing very well, then they will get they will give you 5-star, and then 4-star, then 3.5, 3, these things. Okay, so I will mention, or I will show you in the last year what we have achieved. Okay, so these things I will show you in the last. Now focus or major focus, or basically what actually we are offering. So our focus, whenever students actually, not only first year students, we are actually working with some outside people also. There we have some collaboration with some industry. We have some educational more with some different institute or different award universities. Okay, so here the major focus is to create a vibrant local innovation ecosystem and startup and entrepreneurship support mechanism in our institute. Prepare institute for Atal ranking institution on innovation achievement framework. So this innovation ranking, that means if our students or if our institute perform very well, or the mindset of the students are very sharp mindset and they are motivated by our council member, then they will do something. And this particular system will then develop a particular ecosystem like innovative ecosystem. Okay. So our established function ecosystem is for scouting ideas and pre-incubation of ideas. Then develop better cognitive ability among technology students. So these are some major focus, or these are particular objective whenever we are actually started these things. So we have taken these things as an objective of our IIC cell. Now here I will show you some council member, or basically you can say these are faculty council member. This particular member you can see here as I am representing this one. So already I told about me that I am the Dr. Randeep Kundu here, and we have also other coordinators, like here you can see Mr. Oriji Datta from computer science. He is the vice president of this council. And then Mr. Chayan Chakraborty sir, he is a startup activity coordinator, and he's also a convener of our this IIC cell. Then you can see the Mr. Tanmoy Das, he's from electrical engineering department. He is IPR activity coordinator. Then Ms. Joya Mukherjee, already you have gone through her session in the last few days ago. So she is social media coordinator. And then Mr. Santosh Kumar, he is basically ARIA coordinator, auto ranking innovation. That means that particular things already I told you. And then Ms. Sangeeta Dev Burman, he is actually innovation activity coordinator. And Dr. Ashish Nayan, he is internship activity coordinator. Then Dr. Abhijit Kundu, he is NIRF coordinator. And Mr. Niranjan Kumar from civil engineering department, he is one of the member of this council. So as well as we have some student member also. I am showing you just you can see from the portal directly that who are the student members. So here you can see that portal. On the portal you can see some students are here. Those are basically some student member of our council. So you are right now, you students are from the first year. So we actually observe that basically who those or we will select those students who are very interested about this innovative process and all these things. Some technical project competition will be here. So we will see the performance level, and with respect to that, we will select our student council member. Okay, so here you can see some CEC, EC, electrical, civil, mechanical. Total 9 students or 10 students are here. Those are actually selected for this council members. So they are directly registered under this portal, which you can see here. I am showing you from the iic.mic.gov.in. So they have already registered under this particular program, or here you can see it is directly from the IIC site. That means government of India को जो IIC site है, the Institution Innovation Council. So from that particular thing, you can see their names. Okay. So I hope that you are right now in that means first year. When you will that means in third sem or fifth sem, then I hope your name also will be there, because I am expecting that some students, those who are very good, technically sound, or right now you are not prepared so much, but I'm expecting that within these 2 years you will collect so many knowledge so that you can be a part of this particular council, student council member. Okay. So now again I'm going back to this particular slides. Just 1 minute. So here the function. So here basically already I have told you the function of our IIC cell. So this already I have already discussed this thing. So here in this particular thing, we will conduct some program with respect to this particular guideline given by the government of India MIC cell. So they are actually required. So that for the particular thing, they are actually suggesting that we will conduct some ideathon program, some idea generation program, some type of innovative and innovative motivational story. Okay, so this kind of program we are conducting throughout the year. So you will also, whenever your regular class will start, you will also see that we are actually sharing those program news in our social media platform. I will discuss these things later on. So these are the parts of this particular workshop, seminar, and induction program, basically for the benefit of our students, so that student can enrich by our faculty member or the expert, external expert, those who are actually discussing or conducting this workshop. So this particular thing will help those students so that they can ask or they can interact with this particular expert or the speaker for enriching their knowledge and other process. Okay. Now the benefits. So from this particular program, whenever we will start or we will show you these particular things, whenever we will conduct this type of things, so how you will help or your knowledge will be upgraded. Okay, so here this particular thing, you did not need any major capital. As I told you, always economical support is not necessary. So no major capital investment required for establishing this particular thing. And student faculty member associated with IIC will get exclusive opportunity to participate in various innovation related initiative and competition organized by as well as institute as well as Ministry of Education. Okay, so they can win exciting prize. Actually, I will give you some news also. Already ongoing, there are some program from the institute level program is also going on, and another ministry level program is also going on. Smart India Hackathon already announced. So in the coming days, I will also give you those news. Okay, so from that particular thing, you can participate, or if you are doing so well, so that you can show your model, or at least you can visit that particular institute. That means in the Delhi, they have the headquarter. So in the last few years, every years basically स्मार्ट इंडिया हैकाथन में भी हम लोगों का यहाँ से एक टीम गया था दिल्ली में. तो लास्ट ईयर छात्र विश्वकर्मा अवार्ड के लिए भी एक टीम गया था दिल्ली में, जो सारा बहुत एक्सपोजर मिलता है उसमें, ठीक है। तो अगर ऐसा एक्सपोजर तुम सीवी में लिखते हो तो देन यू कैन गेट योर जॉब इजीली। Okay, so those are very connected with each other, that particular promotional things and all exposure thing, those are connected. Okay, so all those things basically will for the beneficial of the students basically. Okay, then you can meet or interact with renowned business leader and top-notch academicians. So whenever we are arranging some program or the ministry is arranging some program, so you can, as I told you, that you can interact with them so that you can enrich, or your knowledge will be enriched then, and so that you can start also your own project or own business. Okay, so as you know that current years or current trend is some entrepreneurship things or some new business ideas, so that anyone can start their own business. So that's called a startup thing. So startup is the sound, I think all students have either idea of what is startup. So startup, not a, that means not a hard task or very that means you have to that means involve so many things there. So this is that is also you can start. Basically we will conduct some program regarding the startup and all, then you can also get how that startup can start. Okay, so there is also an opportunity to nurture and prototype new ideas, mentoring by industry professionals. So industry professional, we, as I told you, we have some linkage with the industry. The industry person will also take some session here, and they will also give you some knowledge, as we have some industry MO, that means a memorandum of understanding with here local as IDTR Indo-Danish Tool Room in the Jamshedpur. In the last 2 years, we are doing some collaborative work with them. So our student can visit there, and they can visit what are the industrial tools or mechanism they are actually using, and they can they are, actually we are also sending student there for some internship thing or some technical training there. Okay, so they are actually operating, or they are actually give you or basically offering some technical program or technical training, okay, for your technical knowledge. So these things we are doing from the last 2 years. Now experimental with new latest technologies. So what are the technologies actually right now? What are the trending things? So those things you can also see from whenever your speaker or workshop will conduct, then speaker or the external expert, those who will come, they will tell you what are the things actually we are doing for industry or for better technology purpose. Okay, and visit new place and learn a new culture. So it is a culture that we are sending our student in the different premium institute like NIT, IIT, or any other reputed place, so that they can visit them that particular things, and they can also enrich, or they can also learn what are the new things actually doing in the outside world. Okay, हम लोग एक कॉलेज में काम कर रहे हैं, तो हम लोगों को बाहर में क्या काम हो रहा है वो सब पता नहीं चलता है. तो we are actually sending our student for some development program in some, as I told you, you can also see our website that our students have visited so many IITs, NITs from the last few years. Okay, so you will also get those opportunity with some premium institute. You can also see what are the technologies they are using, what are the new things, or laboratory visit. You can also see their laboratories, and you can also work with them. You can also do some project work with them. Okay, so this opportunity or these benefits you will get from this particular IIC network if you are taking these things very seriously. Okay, now as I told you that ongoing there are some program is going on, that means in our college some idea workshop is going on. So here I am announcing this particular thing. So after or post COVID-19 world, so here some necessity is required. So it is mandatory for all the students that they have to submit one idea. Okay, so they have to submit one idea for this particular thing, and that will be judged, and that will be judged on the final day of your induction program. That means in the validation session. So yeah, here you can see total 10 available verticals are there. Verticals means the topic. So here you can see health and well-being. So what you have to do, so that thing is that you have to prepare one technical poster about your ideas. Okay, so suppose you are doing, or you can want to prepare some mechanism. That means it's my just an example I am choosing. It is not mandatory that you have to prepare that particular thing. So when beginning of this particular COVID-19, though, you have seen that there was very necessity of the your RT-PCR test, right? So COVID test के लिए बहुत problem होता था. Now there are some mechanism that adopted by that particular medical institute or medical system, that they are now using so many parallel measuring process of this particular COVID-19. Like you have seen that RT-PCR पहले खाली RT-PCR ही होता था. अभी रैपिड एंटीजन टेस्ट से भी हम मुझे पता चलता है कि वहां पे कोविड हुआ कि नहीं. Then some people, or you can also buy that particular kit in your home, and you can also do something from that particular. You can measure the COVID test. Okay, so these things are nowadays very quite common and easier. So जितना दिन जाएगा उतना easy होते जाएगा. ठीक है, तो मानो कि health and well-being vertical हम choose किए, तो we are trying to prepare, or we are actually try to measure something which we can do this particular thing in our home, or we can do by ourselves. Okay, so these things you can choose. Then education and work opportunity. So देखो COVID-19 वर्ल्ड जब हुआ था तब हम लोगों का ऑफलाइन क्लास, फिजिकल क्लास बंद हो गया. देन ऑनलाइन क्लास चालू हुआ. तो उसके लिए हम लोग जैसे यहाँ पे अभी हो रहा है जूम प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर, तो ये प्रोग्राम तुम ऐसे एक वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म तुम एप्लीकेशन बना सकते हो जिसमें सारा स्टूडेंट ज्वाइन करके वहां पे अपना तरीके से वो क्लासरूम को डेवलप कर सके. तो दैट इज एन एग्जांपल. देन एग्रीटेक, फूड न्यूट्रिशन, इनोवेशन, एफएमसीजी सॉल्यूशन, क्राइसिस रिस्पांस, सोशल एंड एनवायरमेंटल सॉल्यूशन, गवर्नेंस, सिटीजनशिप, आर्ट, मीडिया, एंटरटेनमेंट, बिजनेस रेजिलियंस एंड वर्क सॉल्यूशन, multi-stakeholder platform. So there are 10 verticals. So you can choose any of the verticals, but you have to perform, or you have to participate in this particular program. So जितना student है सभी के लिए mandatory है, and you have to submit those idea by 16th of February, and that is one Google form and other template, where poster template I will that means I will share these things very soon. Okay, and the guidelines how we have to prepare. So those particular thing you have to do. And just for 1 second I am showing you that particular template. 1 minute, let me show you the template. Yes, just 1 minute, let me open it. So I am showing you the template of that particular poster. Here in this particular, I think my screen is visible. So here you can see this particular template or poster. It will be given to all. So where you can see the title of your project, you have to write here. Then you have to write your name and other information. That means whatever information regarding this particular student they can write. And here you can write your department name at the affiliation part. Okay, and here in the there are four column is there. So here in this particular column you have to write, or you have to explain your ideas. Then you have to material and methods, you can write here the methodology process. Okay, so after this title or introduction part, here you can write your objective. So from that particular mechanism or particular idea, what are the benefits you are providing from your idea. Then your result means you can also put some figures here so that we can visualize your project or whatever you are thinking So that thing you can post here, and then conclusion part, that how this particular thing or effectiveness of particular things you can post here. Then you hear some reference. Suppose you are taking some reference from internet or any other places or books, so you can write that particular references here, and then in the last acknowledge. Suppose you have taken some help of some professor or some other external members, so you can also write their contact name and acknowledgement. You can acknowledge them that we have taken some reference or help some from other side. If you don't have some that type of acknowledgement, then you can remove this section. So these things are editable. I will give you this material at the very soon. So this is mandatory for all. If you have any question regarding this technical poster contest, you can ask me. I will explain. Do you have any question? FMCG का फुल फॉर्म जो है वो देख लेना नेट से. Okay, so this poster template will give.
So actually we have got in Telegram one link of do it yourself. We have to submit some video there under 100 MB. So it is related to that?
No, sorry. Actually, that is different thing. Basically, that purpose is for basically, what can I say, that some performance, maybe singing, maybe art, maybe other dancing and all. So that is different. But this technical poster competition is completely different, which you have not notified but till date, but you will be notified within tomorrow. Okay, so I will give you complete guideline as well as some, as I shown you that particular poster. Okay, so those things you will get then. Otherwise, those whatever information or whatever collective things is basically they are asking for, this is for different purpose. Okay, that is not related with this particular program. Okay, so don't mix with these particular things. Basically, that is for do it yourself, that is for performance, or you can say that that is for some that means cultural program. Okay, this technical poster competition, that is different from this particular cultural program. So we will get, or you will be notified very soon. Okay, again I'm back into session. So these things, please remember today is 9. The contest will start from today. You can think, and that last date is 16. That means that you will get 8 days for your submission. But this is mandatory for all, that you have to submit your ideas. And I am expecting that only one student, one idea. That means you can send multiple idea, but there should not be any group. Okay, so I am not suggesting that you should prepare any group, because you don't know each other right now. Okay, so there is so I am expecting that you can send, or you can single participant should be there. And if anyone want to send multiple ideas, that is also welcome, but you have to submit at least one idea. Okay, next. So we have some, as I told you, we have some social media contacts and social media platform. As I told you that we are sharing our things in the social media. So those things, I will give you some highlights of the particular things. Just hold on. So here, I think my Facebook IIC page is visible to all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The link I am copying from here, and the chat box I am pasting this one. So you just like those or follow those particular thing for latest news and update. So as you can see here, we are actually observing, or we are actually posting here the daily news. Okay, as it is our today's session, as you are right now you are present here. So that is also shared here. So previously in the last days you have attend this program, workshop on entrepreneurship skill, attitude and behavior development, right? So that program is also shared here. On the 4th February you have attended these things, and previous some glimpses are also here. So we are also posting some external news. What are the activity, monthly activity, what will be the things will be there for IIC sale. So all those things we are posting here, so you just follow those particular channels so that you can see our regular updates. Now I'll show you our Instagram page. Our Instagram page is also, you can see from the Instagram, I'm saying, pasting a link also here. So you can follow this particular Instagram page where you can see IIC Chayabasha. So all the poster and banner, news updates, all those things are we are posting here. So this particular purpose or whatever required purpose, so you can search or follow this particular channel so that you will get update. Okay. Now last one, that is our YouTube channels. I think you can see here the YouTube channel also. You can subscribe our YouTube channel for e-reciprocity. That means whatever program we have conducted, all those recordings are available in this particular playlist, so that you can visit in this particular channel and you can see that particular program, what we have done, and some previous topic, and some all those topics and all those recordings are available here. You can see here all those programs are related with innovative ideas, entrepreneurship skill, idea generation, and some other MIC sale activities. Okay, so these are very useful. I think some students are following those things, and I'm getting some message from students that they are following, they are liking. So please visit and stay subscribed here so that you will get update. Okay, so this all about our social media and contacts, and we have some our mail IDs. So this particular mail ID, you can also send some mail if you have any queries regarding any program and all. So that is also here. Now I am coming to the part where we are actually, in the beginning we have said that we are actually achieved something. So in this particular 2021 के लिए जो achieve किए थे हम लोग, so that is this one. So in this particular slide you can see our institutional yearly certificate. That means they have offered these things for this 2021 batch, and they have given us 3.5 star out of 5 star, and we have seen that our college is second best college in Jharkhand after ISN Dhanbad. Okay, so you can also see, or you can also check our status. You will find that our college is second best in our Jharkhand. Okay, so this 3.5 star is our that means second year activity status. So this year we have targeted 4.5 star. So without your support, without your participation, that will not be possible. So I am requesting every students that please stay with us and please think yourself for this particular sale, so that we can achieve the 4 star at least at the Jharkhand state के लिए ये सबसे ऊपर में आए, ये हम लोगों का objective है. So this particular sale is requesting that all students should join in every session, and they should actively participate in all the contests which will be forwarded from our end. Okay, so these news also published in some newspaper. Okay, so that I'm showing you. This one is another, one second. Yes, this one is another recognition, as I told you, ARIA. So Atal Ranking Institution Innovation Achievement. So ये last year का certificate है, that is published on 29 December 21 में, जिसमें हम लोगों को promising category में डाला गया, and this promising category means we are doing very good. Okay, so our institute is performing very well. This particular certificate suggests that we can reach at the topmost level if we are doing, or we are maintaining the same things, or some we are doing something very good, then we can get the topmost thing. Okay, now here you can see some newspaper coverage of this particular news, what you have seen in the दैनिक भास्कर and प्रभात खबर 10 तारीख में ये पब्लिश हुआ था कि चाईबासा इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज को 3.5 रैंकिंग झारखंड में सेकंड. तो ये कॉलेज न्यूज में आया था दो न्यूज़पेपर का कटिंग्स यहाँ पे तुम लोगों को दिख रहा है, एक दैनिक भास्कर का है, एक प्रभात खबर का है, जो सबसे दैट मीन्स ये दैट इज वेरी प्राउड मोमेंट फॉर अस दैट आवर द न्यूज which is actually publishing in our daily newspaper about our college or about this particular IIC cell. So and now it is your responsibility that you will carry forward this particular culture in the near future. So you are future of this college, so there are so many responsibility in your hands. So I hope you can understand what I am that means what I am trying to say. Okay, so these things should be continue, and then later in the future days we will not only stay on the 3.5, we need some 4.5 star. Okay, so that is our objective. Now, any question from anyone? If anyone want to ask any question, so you can ask. If anyone have any question regarding this presentation and this particular sale, you can ask.
No sir.
तो टेक्निकल पोस्टर के बारे में किसी को कुछ पूछना है?
Yes sir. Hello.
सॉरी,
हेलो सर, ये IIC सेल के बारे में जो बताए सर, इसमें जो है मेनली क्या चीज से रिलेटेड जो है कंपटीशन में पार्टिसिपेट किया जाता है?
यहाँ पे जो अभी हम बताएं, तुम शुरू से थे क्या?
थोड़ा सा बीच में नहीं थे।
अच्छा, तो ये सेल एक्चुअली तुम लोग जो आइडिया, मतलब जो आइडियाज है, आइडिया मींस टेक्निकल आइडिया, ओके, सो दैट रिलेटेड विद टेक्निकल आइडियाज। देखो हम लोग क्या होता है, जो कॉलेज में हम लोग पढ़ते हैं और प्रैक्टिकल क्लास में करते हैं, उसके बाद हम प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हैं, ठीक है, फाइनल ईयर प्रोजेक्ट या कुछ शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हैं, मगर वो प्रोजेक्ट को हम उसको बारे में फ्यूचर में क्या करेंगे वो प्रोजेक्ट लेके, that we are not discussing. Okay, so we are actually motivating on, or we are basically concentrating on that particular thing, how we can implement. That is our level, or up to this level. But beyond that particular level, we have not that means give some potential after the implementation. So that implementation part is start from this IIC cell, where you can get some ideas from the speaker or the workshop coordinator, that they will suggest you, or they will tell you, or they will groom you such a way so that you can do with your project. मानो तुम एक ड्रोन बनाए, ठीक है, तो ड्रोन तुम बना लिए, तो ड्रोन बनाने के बाद तुम क्या करोगे, that is your objective, and that start from this IIC cell. Suppose you are preparing some drone, then you have to think about something pilot project. Pilot project means that should be industry ready or market ready. Okay, so that market knowledge and the industry readiness knowledge is required here. That is, I am talking about the next level after implementation. So that implementation के बाद, मतलब तुम्हारा लैब में तुम बना लिए ड्रोन, उसके बाद मुझे बिजनेस आइडिया चाहिए ताकि वो हम सेल कर सकते, तो वो बिजनेस आइडिया, मार्केट नॉलेज, इंडस्ट्री रेडीनेस, दैट इज योर नेक्स्ट स्टेप. देन आफ्टर इंडस्ट्री रेडीनेस, you can sell your product in the market. Okay, then you have to prepare for something business mind, business ideas. Okay, how you can that means enlarge your business minds and business ideas, so that things should not be that means bounded within our college. That if you can sell your product, then you can be an entrepreneur, or you can be an innovator, right? So if you are doing something such a way, I am not talking about this, you should prepare drone, you can prepare some other things also. As you can see technical poster, there are 10 verticals. So suppose तुम देखो, लास्ट ईयर में हम बताएंगे यहाँ पे, लास्ट ईयर में जो स्मार्ट इंडिया हैकाथन में गया था, तो वो लोग एग्रीकल्चर के ऊपर कुछ काम किए थे, ठीक है, ऑटोमेशन इन एग्रीकल्चर ऐसा कुछ था. तो एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड में ऑटोमेशन कैसे तुम बनाओगे, दैट इज योर आइडिया. देन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन इज ऑल्सो योर पार्ट, एंड कॉलेज विल ऑल्सो हेल्प. Okay, then after doing this particular implementation and successful implementation, you have to prepare something that is for industry ready. मानो कि वो एक फार्मर खरीदना चाहते हैं, सो जैसे बनाए ऐसे तो नहीं बेच दोगे, उसको तो एक ढंग से तुम्हें बनाना होगा ताकि वो फार्मर इजीली उसको ऑपरेट कर सकते, क्योंकि फार्मर लोग जो होते हैं 70% फार्मर को सब टेक्निकल नॉलेज पता नहीं है, दे कैन ओनली नो अबाउट सम स्टार्ट एंड स्टॉप, these things they can know. So that means you have to implement or you have to design your project such way so that any user can use this particular thing easily. Okay, suppose you are doing suppose तुम्हारे घर में वॉशिंग मशीन है, उसमें स्टार्ट और स्टॉप की बटन है और कुछ अदर्स बटन है, ठीक है, तो बाकी अगर तुम्हें वो बटन नहीं रहता है, कुछ अलग से दिया जाता है, मतलब कि टेक्निकल टर्म में लिखा जाता है, तो नॉन टेक्निकल पर्सन समझ पाएगा क्या? नहीं समझ पाएगा. सो दैट शुड बी इंडस्ट्री रेडी, दैट शुड बी यूजर फ्रेंडली. सो दैट इज योर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के बाद ये प्रोसेस है. अब तुमको सोचना है कि मेरा वो जो चीज हम बनाए उसको हम कैसे सेल करेंगे, कैसे मार्केट में उसको लेके जाएंगे, ठीक है. दैट इज आवर नेक्स्ट स्टेप. सपोज तुम एक कंपनी बनाए, कंपनी के लिए स्मॉल इन्वेस्टमेंट में तुम स्टार्ट किए, उसके बाद वो इन्वेस्टमेंट तुम्हें कैसे आएगा? तुम मानो कि पहले लॉट में तुम्हारे पास 10 मशीन बनाने का पैसा है, तुम पहले लॉट में 10 मशीन बनाए, फिर वहां से जो प्रॉफिट होगा तो वो प्रॉफिट तुम डालो नेक्स्ट लॉट के लिए, तो ऐसे ही तुम्हारा कंपनी बढ़ेगा, ठीक है. तो ये है बिजनेस माइंड. एंड नाउ हाउ यू कैन सेल योर प्रोडक्ट इन मार्केट, so that is something different. So this way we are actually doing, or we are actually basically conducting some workshop and seminars so that our student can learn how they can sell their product. Okay, so in the beginning I have shown you some logo, idea, creative and business. So ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्टूडेंट को क्या होता है, आइडिया एंड क्रिएटिव में वो लोग बाउंड हो जाते हैं, मगर बिजनेस के बारे में कोई सोचते नहीं है. So that business part is very important in case of this innovative or entrepreneur or any innovator. Okay, so that thing you have to think from now, otherwise you cannot be an entrepreneur or you cannot be an innovator. Normal एक स्टूडेंट जैसे तुम जैसे कि स्टूडेंट आते हैं कॉलेज में और पास होके कोई भी एक कंपनी में नौकरी करते हैं, ऐसा है. So you are not taking any challenge. If you are taking some challenge, then you can be an entrepreneur, you can be an innovator. Then you may be a 1% of the innovator of our country. Okay, so that is not so hard work. You have to think about something which from the beginning, so that that particular business mind should be in your, that means all the time you have to think about the business mind. That means whatever you are doing, you have to sell these things. So if you think like this way, then only you can sell your product in your market. Okay, so if you are selling these things, then you don't need any other support or any other that means you should not be dependable upon the any other company. So you are the CEO of your own company. Okay, so that is the thing. And that's independent जो प्रोसेस है और जो इंडिपेंडेंट होने का जो व्हाट कैन आई से विश है, so that is actually our target. Not only our target, actually our country is actually doing some innovation week, innovation project, and they are so many stressing on this particular thing so that our student can employable. Okay, employable means they can be employable by own, not from other source, not from any other dependable things. They can be own or they can solely independent. Okay, they did not need any other support. Okay, that is the target and that is the objective of this particular cell. Now I can see here some other student, less Habib is there. Habib, you can ask your question. Habib from CEC.
So my question is that सर जैसे आपने कहा कि हम लोग क्रिएटिव आइडियाज के लिए तो फेमिलियर हैं बट बिजनेस माइंडसेट में नहीं है, पर क्या आप कुछ एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं जो चीज जो मेंशन होना जरूरी है, जिसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना बहुत जरूरी है बिजनेस माइंडसेट के लिए?
Habib, I told you that we will conduct these things as a workshop or seminar because in this particular thing or whatever you have asked is very important question. What are the steps involved, or what are the required thing is, that means required for this business process, that is not 5-minute task, that needs some time, that means at least 2 hours is required. So whenever we will conduct this program, you should attend those program, then you will get some knowledge from that particular session. I am not the expert of this business mind, but I can say you something that that is not a good, that means a hard task. Suppose you have some suppose तुम्हारे घर में तुम क्या बोलूं, तुम लोग के घर में कुछ मानो कि तुम्हारे घर में पैडी फील्ड है, पैडी मीन्स खेती होता है, तो पैडी है, तुम्हारे पैडी फील्ड में 100 क्विंटल पर ईयर होता है, तो 100 क्विंटल तुम कैसे बेचते हो, that you know. But the same thing is that if you are doing something, suppose you have prepared in your laboratory some power bank, okay, so you have prepared power bank, or suppose you are from CEC department, so you have prepared or you have implemented some application, so that application is related with the student learning system, or you have already familiar with Google Classroom, but you have prepared such things that is required, or that is particular thing is required, that there in the all application there is some pros and cons. So with respect to that pros and cons, you have prepared so that a student can easily do this particular thing, or you have prepared something which can be operate without internet service for sometimes, okay, so that things you can that can be market ready. मार्केट रेडी के लिए क्या होगा, तुमको प्रमोट करना होगा. प्रमोशन प्रोसेस क्या है, दैट विल बी डिस्कस्ड इन सम अदर सेशन, बिकॉज देयर इज सम other process also, business mind, promotion process, pilot project, industry readiness. That thing you will know in the later whenever we'll conduct that type of program, okay. So don't think that we are actually skipping those things. We'll conduct the session very that means very soon. You will get your answer and you can ask that particular expert regarding these things, whatever you have asked right now, okay. Now I can see Mohammad Mohsin have some question.
सर जैसे आप बताए कि आपके पास कोई आइडिया, आप किसी चीज के बारे में सोचते हैं जो आपका फील्ड है, उसके बाद उसमें आप क्रिएटिव थिंग्स लगाते हैं और उसमें काम करते हैं, तो जैसे हम कुछ सोचे और उसमें क्रिएटिव लगाए, उसमें काम किए और वो चीज हम बना दिए, तो जैसे जब हम उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे पीपल के सामने उसका यूज के लिए, कि वो जो है डेली लाइफ प्रॉब्लम जो हमारे आसपास में लोगों को फेस होता है, वो प्रॉब्लम रियल लाइफ प्रोजेक्ट बना दिए, तो वैसे उस प्रोजेक्ट को हम बना दिए, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होगा सर कि हम प्रोजेक्ट को ला रहे हैं लेकिन दूसरा कोई सेम मेरा ही जैसा प्रोजेक्ट को कॉपी कर दिया, तो प्रोजेक्ट को हम कैसे लाइसेंस ही कर दे कि वो मेरा ही प्रोजेक्ट है, उसको दूसरा कोई इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर सके.
Right. So देखो, whenever you are doing some unique thing, and that unique thing means no one have prepared or no one have worked on this, okay, that is only called unique thing. Otherwise you are copying from another source, or you are just doing whatever already prepared, that is not a unique thing. If you are preparing any unique thing, then you can register for this particular thing before publishing anywhere. You can register, or you can process for IPR. IPR means intellectual property right. If you are preparing something unique thing, then you can go for intellectual property right. If you have registered under IPR, or IPR committee recognized your work, then only you can say that it is my work. Now after accepting or after recognition from the IPR committee that is not from our institute, that is government policy or government nature. You can also see from how IPR can be done. So from the internet also we will also do some session with IPR session also. So whenever you are registered under this IPR, then no one can steal your work. If someone is stealing your work, then they will be penalized, or you can ask for some that means whatever damage charge. Suppose someone is not informing or you have someone have not taken any permission or concern from your project or from your work, and they are just completely stealing your work, you can ask for compensation, and that particular compensation based on your IPR. तुम्हारे पास IPR का registration रहेगा, then you can बोल सकते हो तुम्हें कि तुम मुझे उसका compensation charge दो, तुम जितना बोलोगे उतना देना होगा उसे, because you have sole property right. Okay, so that particular thing cannot be stolen if you are doing this IPR thing. Okay, but if you are not doing your uniqueness or not, there is no uniqueness in your project, then IPR will reject your work. They will also search whether you have taken or not, or whether you have prepared or own by own or not. So if they found that if you are stealing from anywhere, they'll reject your application. Okay.
Okay.
अगर IPR बन जाएगा तुम्हारे नाम पे, तो कोई चुरा भी लेगा तो तुम उसे पैसा मांग सकते हो, ठीक है, उसमें वो ताकि वो न्यायालय में जाके भी तुम केस कर सकते हो। अदरवाइज देखो अभी सैमसंग के पास एक मोबाइल है तो रेडमी तो चुरा लेगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है। दे कैन प्रोसेस और दे कैन थिंक लाइक दैट, बट दे कैन नॉट steal their code. Okay, they are doing by a particular thing. If they found that they have still their code and all, they will ask for compensation money. Okay, now Aniket.
सर जो आइडिया हम लोग सोचे हैं वो कि कैसे जानें कि वो रजिस्टर वहां पे है या फिर नहीं है?
That you have to search. That otherwise you will not apply for that means you are not permissible for application, or you cannot file a one IPR registration process. तुम्हारे पास अगर वो information नहीं है, then you have to search that means there are so many processes that you can search, but if you found that it is not from the internet, that it is not prepared, then you have filed for IPR, but they will reject, and they will also intimate that why they have rejected. Okay, so then you can see that already this is prepared, or that already this is done by someone, that citation will be given to you. Okay, so that is the process. Now Ashish.
Yes sir, good morning sir.
Good morning.
सर मेरे को पूछना था सर कि अभी जो हम लोग का जो प्रोग्राम आप अनाउंस किए हैं उसमें सर हम लोग को थ्योरी वाला आइडिया सबमिट करें या कुछ बनाकर हम लोग को सबमिट करना होगा?
नहीं, देखो इसमें प्रैक्टिकली कुछ नहीं चाहिए, प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीमेंट आइडिया था मतलब क्या है, वो आइडिया ही है, उसमें कोई इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नहीं चाहिए। दैट इज क्लियर इंस्ट्रक्शन दैट no need of any hardware model. But if you are prepared this thing, that is optional, that is for your own purpose. But we don't know at the initial stage, that means you are just first year in the induction program, means you have 10 days old in this college. I don't need any hardware model, just ideathon means there is some idea तुम्हारा जो है वो तुम मॉडल जैसे तुम बोल रहे हो तो तुम उसको ड्रॉ करके भी दे सकते हो या फोटो उठा के भी दे सकते हो, उसमें तुमको ही बनाना है कुछ मॉडल, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। बट यू कैन ड्रॉ अ ब्लॉक डायग्राम और एनी अदर फिगर फॉर better understanding of the judge. Okay, so you draw those things, but you did not, there is no mandatory option that you have to prepare that particular model there. Okay, that is for one ideathon contest. Ideathon means your idea, only idea. Then
okay sir, yes
so then let me finish. Then we will conduct one session for some hackathon. Hackathon means you have to prepare some model. Okay, ideathon is the initial process, उसके बाद hackathon process है, so उसमें हम तुम लोगों को बोलेंगे कि तुमको मॉडल बनाओ. Okay, so that particular level will be high then. Now it is initial process, that's why we are bounded in only idea generation. Okay, any other question, anyone? I will give you that particular material and instruction as well as the template, whatever PowerPoint template I have shown you here. that I will give you within tomorrow maybe. Okay, so then you will get that particular thing. Any other question, anyone? Okay, I think student then don't have any other question. So thank you all for your presence. So as I told you that it is very important.
So, sir, actually, I have a question. So,
Yes.
like in IT field, I mean, there are many project means if we have one social networking site, then we have many similar copies of that. I mean, like we don't have a single social networking site. We have many like that similar. They are just coming. So they are you said about property rights, some things that we can that is something government site you told just now. So, sir, in IT field, is that possible? Because we are seeing that like in gaming, we had PUBG, then a similar game like that, Free Fire had came. So
Yes.
it was just similar like that only. So is that possible in IT sector? Because codes are written, though the codes are written of Free Fire by some other people and PUBG by some other people, but the presentation was really similar. So is that things are I mean codes might be by different people, they have not steal their codes, it might be from different people, but the presentation was entirely the same thing. So is that really, and like many social media platforms are also like similar thing, like Twitter, we have Twitter, and maybe there are some other sites also like Twitter only. So maybe the codes are not same, but the presentation is entirely same. So is that property
Yes,
right?
Santana, I got your point.
Yes, is that possible in IT
yes,
sector?
I got your point. Thank you for the question. So you are saying all about the things in the that means IT or the networking field or the computer science field, the coding. So coding, as you are saying that this coding may be different, but the objective is same. That means suppose you want to represent Facebook, ठीक है? तो Facebook तुम जो coding से कर रहे हो, so that coding may be changed, but the presentation of the Facebook will be same. So that is something very controversial question. Actually, देखो हम तो 3 into 2 भी 6 कर सकते हैं और 4 plus 2 भी 6 कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? तो आउटपुट अगर सेम आएगा तो उसमें देखा जाएगा किसका एफिशिएंसी ज्यादा है, ठीक है? एफिशिएंसी मींस इस कोडिंग में मुझे कम टाइम लग रहा है और किस कोडिंग में मुझे देखो कोडिंग के लिए हम ऐसे कोडिंग बोलेंगे तो बाकी लोगों को समझ में नहीं आएगा. मानो तुम्हें कोई काम करना है, जो काम 2-3-4 तरीके से कर सकते हो, ठीक है? तो ऑलरेडी 2 काम आईपीआर रिकॉग्नाइज कर चुके हैं, ठीक है? बाकी 4 काम जो है तुम डिफरेंट वे से भी वो काम हो सकता है. नाउ if the objective is same, then other 4 works IPR committee will see. Whenever they will see that process, they can accept your process if it is different from others. Okay, so they can accept their process, your process or the registration process के लिए जो require होता है, they will accept. But the thing is that acceptance will be dependent upon your efficiency, not only efficiency as well as the cost of the process. Okay, so efficiency मतलब कितना कम टाइम में वो हो सकता है और cost means कितना कम पैसा उसे लग रहा है. मतलब पैसा और टाइम दोनों ही important है, otherwise no one will accept your business model. Okay, so that is very controversial question. If anyone suppose देखो iPhone भी मार्केट में है, Redmi, Realme, Samsung भी है, तो लोगों को पता है कि आईफोन सबसे बढ़िया है. अगर सब लोग क्या वो आईफोन ही खरीदते हैं, कुछ लोग तो रेडमी, रियलमी, सैमसंग भी खरीदते हैं ना. प्रोसेस तो मतलब आउटपुट उसे भी कॉल होता है, इसे भी कॉल होता है, ठीक है? मगर वो देखो कोई उसमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सो देखो यहाँ पे क्या बोलूं मैं, आईफोन से भी फोन होता है, आईफोन से भी फोटो तुम उठा सकते हो, रेडमी, रियलमी से भी हो सकता है. The process is different. That's why that has been registered under IPR. Intellectual property right सभी का है. जो प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में आते हैं सबका ही इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट होता है, otherwise they will not come in the market. सैमसंग का भी डिफरेंट से है, रेडमी का भी है, आईफोन का भी है, but the objective is quite same. I will not say that 100% same, but quite same. Okay, but the way of processing or the coding, that is different, right?
Yes, sir.
Santana, so now
Yes, sir.
here it is.
So that means that we can create something with the same objective, but that will not come under the property rights.
Yes, you can do these things, but the thing is that if you are
We have to just get our thing more efficient.
yes, more efficient of course, but already जो established हो गया, तुम उसको कुछ ना कुछ तो यूनिकनेस दिखाना होगा, मतलब मॉडिफिकेशन। मानो तुम फेसबुक पेज फिर से बनाओगे, ठीक है, फेसबुक में जो अवेलेबिलिटीज है, वो अवेलेबिलिटीज उससे एक्स्ट्रा कुछ तुम्हें उसमें दिखाना होगा। मानो उसमें लाइव चैट के लिए कुछ ऑप्शन नहीं है, हम बता रहे हैं ऐसे लाइव चैट होता है फेसबुक में, लाइव चैट मींस वीडियो चैट।
Yes.
तुम्हारा जो एप्लीकेशन बना रहे हो तुम, तो उस एप्लीकेशन में अगर तुम वो लाइव चैट वाला ऑप्शन तुम डाल दोगे, तभी ना लोग उसको यूज करेगा, अदरवाइज व्हाई अदर पीपल विल एक्सेप्ट योर न्यू फेसबुक? they will not accept, they will stay with that old one. Okay, so you have to be, that is not like that your code is different, that is IPR committee will decide your code is this code is different, they will give you permission and all, but that means we people, that means normal people, they or the buyers, basically buyers, they will not understand, they will see that that's दो तो same ही है, why should I go for new one? ठीक है,
Yes.
different. If you are doing something then you should involve some uniqueness. Okay, so I think time is up. I will not take extra question. I'm very sorry, I can see some students have raised their hand. I will not accept right now because I'm already I have given 11:30 already, stay 11:41. So I'm very sorry. Whenever we will conduct a similar kind of session, please attend. Then we can discuss these things very well. So thank you all. It is very I'm very happy that you have asked so many questions and you have attended. Hope we will see in the near future. And please follow our social media page, whatever link I have posted here. Please follow and stay with us. And now you are the first year batch and you have some responsibility. As I told you, we have to, our objective for this particular year, that is we have to go for 4-star and 4.5 star up to. Okay, so thank you all. I'm ending my session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your such a valuable lecture. I hope the students have enjoyed your lecture. And now I would like to enhance this topic with an organizational level, that innovation is the practical implementation of idea that results in introduction of new goods or services in improvement and offering good services and goods. Then the innovation often takes place through the development of more effective products, processes, services, technologies at works or business models that innovators make available to market, governments, and society. Now, I would like to also add some measures of innovation at the organizational level relate to individual, team level assessment, and private companies from the smallest to the largest company. And measure of innovation for organization can be conducted by survey, workshops, consultants, or internal benchmarking. Now, I'm not going to exceed more because there will be a video, a small movie. We have kept a session of a movie and you are going to watch that movie. Let me share that movie.
Pushpa.
counter the following environment. Are you able to hear the audio, students?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Nature suffers nothing to remain in her. Disease, natural disasters, bloodshed.
लगता है मिस चली गई ना कुछ नहीं
Please wait for a few minutes. Okay. Let me connect to it.
solve our new
of
problems.
uncertainty and
We must
change.
learn to ask why and why not. George Bernard Shaw. While qualities such as talent and high education are important, these people share one singular quality that exists within all of us: courage. These individuals, at once creative and innovative, the courage to accept challenges and to break down barriers, who are bringing radical breakthroughs to education, technology, business, and engineering.
One of the things
Now we are going to start the movie. Okay.
Change.
we come to what I call the safe harbor of the known. We think that if we think the same thoughts, have the same conversations,
While
watch the
qualities
same
such
TV
as
shows,
talent and
eat
high
the same
education
food,
are important,
it's gonna be
these
safe.
people share
But
one
actually, the
singular
riskiest
quality
move
that
is
exists
staying in the
within
comfort
all of
zone.
us:
True
courage.
safety, true freedom, true leadership, true excellence, true happiness comes from one thing.
The courage to
Leaving the
accept
safe harbor of
challenges
the known
and to
every
break down
single day.
barriers.
Moving out to the blue ocean by taking risks, by learning, by stretching, by moving into the next level of excellence and possibility.
Nature suffers nothing to remain in her kingdoms, which cannot help itself. He is no whole man until he knows how to earn a blameless livelihood. Society is barbarous until every industrious man gets his living without dishonest customs. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The rules have changed. In a single generation, revolutions in technology have transformed the way we live, work, and do business. President Obama. The course of life is a constant. The patterns of birth, growth, and death will remain the same regardless of the state of things. But throughout every age, there are those who dare to come up with innovations so that the rest of us can lead an easier and more comfortable life.
Right now, starting in the late 80s till now, we are in a major inflection point in human civilization.
I think it's an uncertain time, but I think it's a very exciting time.
We are at an extraordinary time in the history of this planet.
Global competition is very, very challenging.
I don't think there's ever been a better time to be alive than right now.
If you are not doing some things that are crazy, then you're doing the wrong things. Larry Page, co-founder of Google. Now, more than ever, consumers put a premium on innovation and creativity. This, they feel, will enable them to choose the best products and pursue careers that promise the most opportunities. This, however, is tricky, as new and fresh ideas often have shelf lives of just a few years, sometimes a few months.
The world as it exists today Wealth is not primarily judged in terms of land or of industry or even of money. The basic currency is ideas.
The good news is that the capacity to innovate and the incentive towards innovation have never been as rapid and ubiquitous as they are today. At a time when many feared that the desire to read was shrinking, the Amazon Kindle was launched. This device gives readers a brand new way to control what they read at any given moment. And then there is iTunes. When Apple broke the monopoly of the music industry, they empowered listeners to take control of their personal record collections. Now, iTunes dominates most media marketplaces, Hollywood movies, podcasts, and even books and magazines. The consumer can program his television viewing habits and no longer has to allow a network to dictate the pace at which he watches his favorite TV drama. He has even taken television away from the television set. The consumer has also found easier ways of becoming the creator. Websites like Kickstarter have cut out the middleman so that artists can fund projects themselves. Even our celebrities have followed suit. Corporations have felt the demand for more creativity, more innovation, and more individual expression, and they have responded. Innocentive is a global leader in crowdsourcing, an innovation trend in which thousands of individuals compete to provide solutions to the world of business, policies to the world of politics, and ideas to the world of science. The effects of digital fabrication on manufacturing have created a new industrial revolution. Moreover, advances in robotics are reshaping how factories and warehouses operate. One such robot is Baxter, designed by Rethink Robotics' Rodney Brooks, a former MIT professor. Baxter comes with a unique low price point and provides a compelling alternative to low-cost offshoring for manufacturers of all sizes. Here, we can see how robotics and automation have affected the automobile industry. Will there come a time when these robots and automation systems take over the majority of routine jobs?
We live in a dramatically new world. We live in a world where it's no longer about command and control, it's about connect and collaborate. I mean, you look at the net right now, and what it's done is it's literally democratized leadership. Every single person can have an impact, every single person can have a following, every single person can have a platform, whether it's on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube. So my message is really a simple one, which is no matter what your title is, no matter what your station in society is, no matter what your background is, it's no longer a valid excuse to say, I can't lead, I can't have an impact. It's no longer an excuse to say, I'm a taxi driver, so I can't influence other people. No matter who we are, where we work, where we live, around the world, every single one of us can shift from being a victim to showing leadership.
Earth is divided up into natural barriers. Throughout man's primitive beginnings, the only means of transportation were animals and one's own feet, until the invention of the wheel. Then, civilization began to move forward at a faster pace than ever before. But there were some natural barriers that continued to serve as obstacles to mankind's evolution. Among them was the ocean. So man found a way to overcome that obstacle by inventing the sailboat. Water was a barrier no longer. Centuries later, James Watt's steam engine brought forth a mammoth innovation that yielded the railroads of the land and the steamships of the sea. By the mid-19th century, Samuel Morse had given us the telegraph. By the late 19th century, Alexander Graham Bell had delivered the telephone. These new forms of transportation and communication broke down almost every natural barrier there was, bringing people closer together and making the world smaller and smaller. The only barrier left was the sky. In 1903, the Wright brothers took part in their first successful flight. In the past, artisans crafted with their hands. It was this alone that determined the quality of their products. During the industrialization process, man created machines that would reduce the rigors of labor considerably. Meanwhile, the seeds of wireless communication and satellite technology were sown throughout the 20th century. Once these seeds blossomed, people were able to send messages to any part of the globe in no time at all. Furthermore, the invention of semiconductors and transistors triggered revolutions in radio, television, and computers. But the real magic began when the internet was finally commercialized in the 1990s, followed closely by the creation of the World Wide Web at the hands of Sir Tim Berners-Lee in 1991. This was the point when the nature of innovation evolved into an exponential fashion. The great minds responsible for every leap forward knew that the established wisdom of their times was not absolute. They trusted their instincts and were bold enough to pursue a better world for future generations. Today, we call these great minds revolutionaries. They spearheaded revolutions in science, in philosophy, in spirituality, in the arts, in democracy and in human rights, and finally, in science and technology. In every innovation age, there are many bold souls with moonshot thinking skills who are able to cook up grand surprises for the masses. But in spite of overcoming geographical barriers, man has still had to deal with various challenges. Disease, natural disasters, bloodshed, economic crises, and a myriad of other difficulties that have threatened to slow our progress. And yet, man has always prevailed. Thanks to scores of innovators who use their creative potential enough to march forward, help us to thrive, and lead us to a new age of progress. Are the challenges we face in the 21st century any different from those we've encountered in the past? Could it be that the only thing changing is the nature of the challenges itself?
In the old days, all you had to learn the motions expected of you. Think, for example, of Taylor's work. You didn't have that many choices. You got the job. The promise was you do a good job. The government, the people, you'll get a pension. You just got to know what the skills are that they taught you when you were 20.
As technology continues to evolve exponentially, those who work routine labor jobs have found their careers under threat from computers that can do their jobs in a cheaper and arguably more efficient way. We've seen variations on this before, when Western factories are relocated to those where cheap labor is instantly accessible. Today, the economy is faced with another disruptive business model: the online job market. anyone with a special talent, a computer, and an internet connection can start a career as a freelancer, receiving commissions from all over the world. Any job that can be eliminated either by cheap labor or by internet freelancing is at risk. A New York City grad student may now face competition from an equally hard-working young person in India. The cost for a business of failing to tap into the global network is exorbitant, while the benefits can be infinite.
I think this world is in a very fascinating time. I mean, there's never been so much change. There's never been so much uncertainty. There's never been so many people who are going through this state of confusion. There's never been so much disruption. But old structures must be disrupted before new and better structures can start show up.
Let us meet some truly creative minds of the new age. A young man who has disrupted such old structures and tapped into the unlimited potential of internet connectivity is Salman Khan, founder of Khan Academy, the world's largest virtual university. He is widely known as the major education reformer of the 21st century.
Education, which is fundamentally about knowledge and information, and it's been completely static. It hasn't changed at all. And so, the little inkling in my eye was that gee, this video thing, well, why can't it reach everybody? And if you augment it with software, and if you augment it with all of the other tools that exist in all these other industries, why can't you do something as fundamentally that so fundamentally challenges the norm as a free world-class education for anyone? And I don't think we're anywhere near there yet, but that's our mission, and we're gonna, everything we do is going to try to get us to that ideal.
Some of the videos available through Khan Academy include lessons on basic arithmetic problems, as well as complex animation tutorials, US history lectures, and lessons on the Industrial Revolution, and it's all for free. Even Microsoft leader and billionaire Bill Gates uses Khan's materials and raves about them on his YouTube channel.
That's all Khan has done is amazing. He's taken all this material and broken them down into little 12-minute lectures. I use it myself to remind myself of things. I have children who like it. I think it's a huge contribution.
I was tutoring my cousins, literally, and I had to kind of figure out a way to scale myself up, so I started recording YouTube videos, and I started making little software modules for them, but I made it so anyone could use them, and started getting a lot of traction.
But beyond these simple and accessible videos, there is something behind the enormous success of Sal Khan and his dedicated team at Khan Academy. What makes him such a force of nature in the education world?
I see Sal Khan as a pioneer in an overall movement to use technology to let more and more people learn things, know where they stand. It's the start of a revolution.
Phil Libin is the CEO of Evernote, one of the fastest growing cloud technology-based companies in the world. Evernote's mission is to help people around the globe to remember everything, capture anything, and access it anywhere.
There's certainly nothing original in that concept with Evernote. People have been creating ways to write things down and capture memories and organize them for tens of thousands of years. I think when we decided that this was the right time to build Evernote, we did it because we thought the technology was just getting to the point where it was feasible to really tackle this idea, to take this great old idea of improving everyone's memory and actually build something that would be useful to hundreds of millions of people.
Tony Shea is the Chief Executive Officer of Zappos.com, the most popular online shoe company in the world.
Business, it's never a question of not having enough resources, not having enough resourcefulness.
A successful businessman at a young age, he is an inspirational force for millions of young entrepreneurs around the world.
Growing up, one of my favorite TV shows was MacGyver. I don't know, for people that haven't seen it, he would always be stuck in these situations where he didn't have exactly the right ideal set of tools or resources that he needed in order to get out of a situation, but somehow he would figure out creatively, he'd take, say, duct tape and a pencil and a paperclip and create a sailboat out of it, and then he'd be the hero at the end of the hour. That's part of what I love about being an entrepreneur. You basically get to play MacGyver every day with business.
Zappos.com is considered one of the best managed companies in the world. Both their business model and their success story are taught in business schools all around the globe.
My inspiration for Exodus data centers was Walmart.
KB Chandrasekhar co-founded Exodus Communications Data Center in 1994. Under his watch, he saw quite a few technological giants launch into the stratosphere. His new company, Jamcracker, out in Santa Clara, California, is a pioneer of cloud service brokerage enablement solutions.
If you look at Sam Walton, the way he developed it, he was the first one to develop the standard store formats. What he used to call it as a Class A, Class B, Class C, depending on the size of the town or the demographics. One day I was reading that book and that inspired me. And also about how he built such an empire. That led me to say how I can apply those principles in the data center market.
So if you ask, how did I come up with, say, neuromarketing? I did not sit in a chair like this one day and invent it and think about it. Not at all.
Dr. A.K. Pradeep is the founder and CEO of Neurofocus, the world's leading neuromarketing firm. His company brings advanced neuroscience knowledge and expertise to the world of branding, product development, packaging, marketing, and advertising.
I was working with a large company CMO. I was consulting with a person, and he said to me, listen, Pradeep, we spend $6 billion on advertising and marketing. We don't quite know what we get for that. I said, my God, I don't know how to help you. It's a very hard question. So on the plane ride back to San Francisco, there's a guy sitting next to me, and I asked him what he did for a living. And he said, oh, you know, I'm a neuroscientist. I said, well, what does a neuroscientist do? He said, well, I measure attention in children and help them when they don't pay enough attention. ADD, attention deficit disorders, I measure them and I treat them. When people have emotional problems and they, don't quite know how to deal with them, I measure them and I treat them. When people have memory problems, especially when people age, there are memory problems. When people have memory problems, I measure them, the progress or the loss of it, and treat them. That's what I do for a living. I said, wait a minute. You measure attention, you measure emotion, and you measure memory. 1 hour ago, my friend asked me, does anybody pay attention to my advertising? Is anybody emotionally engaged with our brand? Does anybody remember our messaging? The very same things my friend said, I'm spending $6 billion in trying to find out, you are measuring in clinics every day. Why can I not apply this science to solve that problem? That is how Neurofocus was born.
With the old way of thinking, we cannot solve our new problems. We must learn to ask why and why not. George Bernard Shaw. These individuals, at once creative and innovative, represent a microcosm of the 21st century mavericks who are bringing radical breakthroughs to education, technology, business, and engineering.
One of the things that every great leader and every great business person has is not one of them accept the status quo.
One of the most distinguishing characteristics of highly creative people, which is their ability to embrace the unknown, to be comfortable and even maintain their smile in the face of uncertainty and change.
While qualities such as talent and higher education are important, these people share one singular quality that exists within all of us: courage. The courage to accept challenges and to break down barriers. For these revolutionaries, creativity is not just a passive acceptance of the established, but a proactive movement beyond the established.
We cling to what I call the safe harbor of the known. We think that if we think the same thoughts, have the same conversations, watch the same TV shows, eat the same food, it's going to be safe. But actually, the riskiest move is staying in the comfort zone. True safety, true freedom, true leadership, true excellence, true happiness comes from one thing: leaving the safe harbor of the known every single day and moving out to the blue ocean by taking risks, by learning, by stretching, by moving into your next level of excellence and possibility.
Classical musician Benjamin Zander is an expert on creativity. He has led the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra since 1979 and is a Grammy nominee. He's an acclaimed conductor, composer, and arranger, and is also a teacher and a speaker.
We get into patterns, safe patterns, which are routines, which keep us on a firm path in which we don't really have to think. And like, we get up in the morning and we do our hair, we brush our teeth, and we have breakfast, and we go to work, and we come home, and we sit and watch television, and we have a cup of tea, and we go to bed, right? At the end of that process, we die. And that's not a creative life. Creative life is where you stay open to whatever comes towards you, and instead of rejecting it, you embrace it and create something out of it. By trying this different way of doing things and different ways of thinking, you may actually find ways to change what you think is the life that has been imposed on you. One of the worst things for people to do, I think, is to take for granted that their position in life is fixed, that they have to go all through life doing what everybody else wants them to do, or what the situation around them makes them do. And that kind of passive acceptance of external conditions is terrible, I think.
Mihai Csikszentmihalyi is a big name in the academe. He is a famous and highly sought-after professor in the field of psychology, best known for his work in the study of happiness and creativity.
You have to understand very well one domain of culture. A domain would be like mathematics or religion or music or art. You have to be very good at one domain. You have to then break away from that domain and say, this is good, but I can do better here, somewhere. And then try to do better. And then you need what I call a field, which is a group of people who are gatekeepers to the domain. And the field has to feel that what you think is better is really better, and then they have to say, okay, now your mathematical theorem is so good that we'll make that part of mathematics. So your idea now becomes part of the domain, so that the next generation of children will learn your theory too. And the same thing with everything else.
Most obstacles are obstacles of conventional wisdom. People say, well, you can't do it this way, or you shouldn't do this. Then you just challenge that conventional wisdom, because conventional wisdom didn't get to be conventional wisdom because it's true. It got to be conventional wisdom because it's easy to repeat, and people like repeating it, and they sound smart when they do repeat it. And so maybe that's really the aspect of creativity, is identifying when you're running into conventional wisdom and not having a whole lot of respect for it, and challenging it whenever you can.
Creativity, in my own words, can be defined something like this: the mental characteristic of a person to think out of the box and to offer something new which was not there before.
Rajendra Prasadi is a successful businessman in the creative fields of fashion and architecture. While he never had any formal training in design, he has always been artistic and says he was lucky enough to have found areas of business where he could pursue his creative talents.
In my business, when I apply the same logic, I would rather go back in time and tell you about the denims, which was a workwear used by mine laborers in California, which was a hard cloth. And later, when it was put into fashion, it became a fashion symbol all over the world and took the whole fashion industry by storm. So a workwear becoming a fashion symbol, and the gap is filled with something called creativity. So that is something which you think out of the box, and your ability to think out of the box and bring something extremely innovative and novel is called creativity.
Their dissatisfaction with the status quo, their ability to see things differently, and their constant yearning to produce something better are what propel these out-of-the-box thinkers to take that courageous leap into the unknown. And what they bring back is something short of spectacular.
Our challenge is to make ordinary people do extraordinary things. Our challenge is to make people dream of catching the stars and putting it in their pocket.
A creative individual is one who can come up with an idea, a concept, create something from what he has in his environment or something he has in his mind. It could be anything from an idea to something that's innovative, that changes how man basically does things or functions, or eases the difficulty that man has. Many have pinpointed this to a pattern of thinking, a thinking process, the ability of the individual to piece different aspects of his thinking and his environment to create something new.
So I find that in creativity, the primary thing is hearing something in one place, hearing something else in some other place, and somehow your mind puts it together, right? It is and you did not exactly create anything. We just assembled them. God creates. We assemble.
Whereas most of us are stuck in the here and now, creative people are able to look forward, think ahead, and conjure up concepts that bring drastic changes to the way we live and work. Ultimately, their crazy ideas are those which enable mankind to keep progressing. Whether purposefully or not, they leave the world a better place for our children and for our children's children.
The most powerful force for transformation this planet has is the power of human mind. When you arouse that human mind to do something truly extraordinary, then the result would be stunning.
Another reason that these individuals are so successful is that they were capable of finding solutions to the problems that befell their business models during the difficult early years.
An optimist sees challenges and says, okay, here is something which I can excel in, I can bring new solutions to the world, I can solve. A pessimist looks at problems and says, you know, these are problems and I can't do anything.
I always tell this very simple and very lovely story of the two shoe salesmen, now well known. They went to Africa in the 1900s to find out if they could sell shoes. And they reported back to their company in Manchester in England saying, one wrote a telegram saying, situation hopeless, they don't wear shoes. The other one wrote, glorious opportunity, they don't have any shoes yet. Now those are two statements describing the identical situation. They're both looking at the same thing. One sees situation hopeless, the other says glorious opportunity, we don't have any shoes yet. Now that choice is a permanent choice in the life of every single human being at every moment of every day.
In the book Art of Possibility, which he co-authored with his wife Rosamund, Zander teaches people to step outside what he calls constructed realities. He inspires them to realize their potential by seeing the possibility in every situation that arises.
You have a choice in life. Every time you open your mouth, every time you take any action, you can choose either to act or speak in what we call the downward spiral. Competition, fear, anxiety, pressure, all that stuff, what we call the downward spiral. Or you can speak in possibility. Right? Possibility is an open-ended domain. There is a discipline, a life discipline, which enables you to choose possibility rather than to choose the downward spiral. Most people, including top executives, choose the downward spiral. The reason is they're brought up and trained to worry about the competition, to worry about fear, worry about making mistakes, worry about somebody else may do better than, you know, that whole package. They're like this all the time. If you're like this all the time, the body doesn't work well. The body works well when it's open, when it's relaxed, when it's alive, when it's in fun, feeling playful. Then we do well and our mind works very well. The trouble is the mind closes down when you get fearful. Those are not good postures for creative thinking.
You can be creative when you're sort of under pressure. Happier people are more creative, they're more productive, they're healthier, they have stronger immune systems, they're better negotiators, they're more happily married, they make better friends, they're more charitable and generous.
Everybody in the world looks for meaning and purpose in life. You know, Viktor Frankl is one of the most influential thinkers of the last century. And he wrote many books, but the most significant one, I think, was Man's Search for Meaning, where he talked about happiness. And he had understood what makes people happy. It was not about the pursuit of happiness. He said happiness cannot be pursued. Happiness ensues. It is the outcome of living a life of meaning and purpose, where you're part of some work that actually is making a positive difference in the world. It comes from loving without condition, and it comes from finding meaning in your suffering. Everybody has suffering in their life. If you can find some meaning out of that and make something positive, learn some lessons from that, grow from it, that's where ultimately you're going to be happy.
Do these geniuses make the right choices all the time? Are they often sure about their decisions? And are their decisions always based on facts? No. But more often than not, they listen to their instincts. These creative individuals use their intuitions to seek out opportunities and act upon them.
The opportunities are in front of many, many people. What happens is they don't take advantage of them. They don't put 100% or more than 100% effort to take advantage of them. There's a saying which says, luck favors the prepared mind, right? So the preparation is actually by doing the hard work and being ready to take advantage of the situation.
I have as much trust in my intuition as my rational thinking. In fact, I trust my intuition even more. Because many times we could fool ourselves into convincing ourselves about anything. If you decide to buy a red sports car, you will find wonderful reasons why you should buy it. If you decide that you didn't want to buy the red sports car, you will find wonderful reasons why you should not buy it. So what then is truth? So we find that there is a lot of thinking that happens in us. Many times over the course of life, as we fail and we succeed and we learn lessons from them, we learn that when we failed, something deep within us told us we shouldn't have probably done that, and we overruled that and we failed. When we succeeded, we realized something deep within us told us we should do that. We succeeded. So we said, my God, what if I spent most of my time listening to something deep within me? And I find personally in my life that if I believe in my intuition and execute on it, as if it was as real a conclusion that came out of logical, rational thinking, I had the same confidence, same belief, and same faith in that non-conscious thought and that intuition that came. And if I could execute on it with the same vigor as if it was presented to me in a PowerPoint. Because the non-conscious intuitive mind does not do Microsoft Office, all right? So you just get this feeling and therefore you have to act on it. But it is as if it is real. And if you could act on it as if it was real, success does follow.
Intuition is there for a reason. It's evolved as a way to make snap decisions based on a very large amount of inputs that you're not consciously aware of. And so people with a well-tuned intuition should trust it, because it got to be there through hundreds and hundreds of years of evolution, letting us make quick decisions when we don't have time to sit there and think about them. So it's the intuition that saved our ancestors with good intuition from thinking that there may be some danger lurking in that grass. Maybe there's a tiger there or something. They don't really exactly know why, but they've seen enough things just happen in the environment where their brain said, okay, don't go over there. And sometimes that's wrong, but very often that's correct. And that feeling, that intuition has been honed by hundreds of millions of years to be quite effective.
Luck doesn't walk down the street with a sticker saying, I am your luck. Chance doesn't walk down the street saying, I am that chance. It does not, right? But somehow some of us seem to recognize it. Why? Because we recognize that the unplanned will happen and we are planning all the time to welcome the unplanned. If you're always ready to throw a party for the unplanned, then somehow the unplanned good luck seems to walk into your house because you were ready for it with a party. So I think as an entrepreneur, ideas are important, action is very important, but planning for the unplanned, learning to recognize it, learning to embrace it, and learning to incorporate it in what you do is very important and the critical ingredient to success.
And so the process of creation begins. What do you do with a bright idea, a positive attitude, and a willingness to embrace the unknown? How do you turn them into an amazing invention that could eventually help the rest of mankind?
Ideation without execution is mere delusion. What creates a genius, what creates a leader, is shifting from the ideas to actually delivering results around those ideas.
Execution. Execution is the thing that will turn a spark into a flame, a fuzzy thought into a winning creation. It's the innovation that gets noticed, the model that wins the medal, and eventually the product that hits record sales.
There are a lot of creative ideas. People can sit and daydream. But if you don't know how to translate them and persevere and become an evangelist to tell the world why this is going to be, why this creation is something that's going to change the world. And that has to come from the bottom of your heart, which means creativity and innovation has to blend. That's the greatness of people like Steve Jobs. Otherwise, you look around the valley, there are probably one success for every 100 or 300 failures. It's not that the 300 failures didn't have the creativity. They just didn't know how to translate into an innovation and into an execution.
There is so much creativity in taking an idea all the way to it being born as a company. But not just being born as a company, taking it all the way from your first client to a repeat business, to the second client, and to the 100th client. And then taking it all the way into either going public or getting acquired or building a vibrant business. In every step of the way, there is the creative aspect and there is the execution aspect. Creativity and execution should go hand in hand. Without one, the other is meaningless. If all you can do is to execute and you don't have that breakthrough thinking, you can never win. If all you have are breakthrough thoughts and you cannot execute on them, you will never win. It is the right hand and the left hand working together.
The core idea, the idea itself is almost worthless. There's many great ideas, and there's many people that can come up with great ideas. 99% of the value is the execution. And there's a huge difference between those two things. The brilliant idea is actually not as rare as people think. What's really rare is combining that spark with the ability to actually see it through, to actually execute, and most importantly, to not lose interest.
Lieben says one could even just borrow or adopt somebody else's idea and turn it into something far better than what was originally imagined by its creator. It is the engineers, the fabricators, and the dedicated implementers who run with that idea, put a form into it, and actually make it work. That makes all the difference. They are the real innovators.
You don't need to be the first person to think of something. In fact, in business at least, very rarely is the first company to think of something the one that succeeds. Google wasn't the first search engine. Facebook wasn't the first social site. Zynga wasn't the first game company. The breakout companies, the ones that are worth billions and billions of dollars, they're usually not the very first ones with an idea. They were the first ones to take that idea and to execute it almost flawlessly. And the execution basically comes down to removing all of the complexity to enable more and more users in the mainstream to actually use your product.
While While some innovations take only a few years, even just months, to develop and reach maturation, most don't attain a level of readiness or perfection until many, many years of patient, meticulous, and dedicated hard work.
I think a lot of very smart, very creative people, their flaw is that they lose interest because once they've been thinking about something for a year, 5 years, 10 years, they get bored and they want to move on and think about something else. But it takes 5 or 10 or 20 years to actually accomplish something real. So you have to be creative enough to have a good idea, but not so creative that you get bored with it easily, so you can really stick through it and see it through.
So the guy who is in the IT industry who says, I'm going to create a new software and it's going to be in the field of animations and I'd like to do it within this particular area, is far more likely to succeed than someone who says, you know, I should have been the one who won the prize because I had more ideas than him. You probably did. But the guy in the other cubicle sat and worked on it and he achieved it. So success and creativity basically come when you put in the time and the effort. And unless you do that in a systematic way, it becomes difficult.
There is no substitute for hard work. Work hard and success follows.
So what is it that truly drives these creative people to stick to it and see it through? Is it just their brilliant minds, hard work and sheer perseverance? Or maybe something a little bit more, something powerful enough, compelling enough, and absorbing enough to keep them running very long periods of time?
Most successful people in the world in general are people that have found what they're passionate about and are doing it every day. And that's kind of what I, over time, learned. In the early days, I guess my definition of success was probably like a lot of other people's, which was about focusing more on making money and building businesses that could make a lot of money. But just over time, really found that what's more important to me is really just being passionate about whatever it is that I'm doing.
Most people that actually get something done don't start with thinking about the process of innovation, the process of creativity. They just have a real passion for something they want to see in the world, something they want to see in the universe that doesn't exist, and they just work tirelessly to achieve it.
When a creative feeling comes to me, I actually, if it's really pure, it's actually something that comes through me. It's almost like, I hate to use this word because people will misinterpret it. It's almost like I'm channeling something that's bigger than me, and I'm just the vehicle that's going to help to express it to the world.
Chip Conley is a hotelier, author and speaker. He founded Joie de Vivre Hotels, which he began in 1987 at the age of 26.
When I see it as that, first of all, I feel less possessive of it and less ego around it. But I feel actually more compelled to be in service to it and to actually communicate about it. So it's very easy when you feel like something's coming through you and it feels pure and it feels important to be expressed. You feel like you're a missionary for the message. It's very easy to lose sleep, but you're not losing sleep. When I say lose sleep, I mean want to work on it and spend time on it all the time, and to actually be in a place where it becomes almost an obsession.
I'm basically a painter, an artist. I build hotels, but I've never used an engineer or an architect.
Steve Borgia is a hotelier, author and speaker. He founded the Indeco Leisure Hotels in India.
I've conceived, I've dreamt of hotels. I make my set stand and live forever. That's why when people come and say, wow, beautiful, because it is not engineered, it is manifested out of a very divine passion. Somebody has taught me how to do instantly. You get my point? This is not driven by books, not by knowledge, not by internet. I believe very, very passionately that there is something called divine intelligence. It is not classified. It is not territorial. It is universal. And I think it is grace. It is available for you, me, and for everybody.
For me, the most important thing is to understand yourself. Who are you? What would you like to do? What are the sets of activities that completely absorb you, that put you in a moment of what might be called flow, where you lose track of time? This is the thing that I was meant to do. If you get that feeling and you're working in a line that allows you and gives you lots of opportunities to engage in that kind of absorption and flow, then you're likely to be happy a lot of the time. And that to me is the ultimate yardstick of success.
I think when you finally connect with your passion, that one thing that causes you to feel that you don't want to sleep, you would die on the sword for that vision, then your life begins to change.
I believe that when a person is passionate about something, when he has a vision which is much bigger than he is, and this vision in some way brings a greater good to a greater community, when he is completely enveloped in such a vision and has to be bigger than he is, then he automatically becomes creative. So if you think, how can I become creative? My advice is find something that you are so passionate about that you would do anything to achieve it. And this has to be a cause which is bigger than you are and which brings some good to a greater community. Then you don't have to think about how can I be creative. Creativity will flower inside you in ways you can't even imagine.
Finally, and perhaps this is most important of all, creative individuals know who they are. They're aware of their talents, hopeful of their dreams, and are happy in what they do, and are not afraid to be a little different.
The best business people, they're not afraid to be a little strange. They're not afraid to march to their own drummer. Why does Steve Jobs wear the black turtlenecks? Why does Warren Buffett eat a hamburger and drink Coca-Cola every day for lunch? If you look at the billionaires, you look at the best entrepreneurs, they're all a little eccentric. Why? Because they have the character strength to be comfortable in their own skin. And why is that valuable in business? Because ultimately, most people who pursue a vision, as soon as they get criticized, they give up. You have to be really, really strong in your own skin, your own values, your own vision.
There's a lot of people out there who are going to give you advice that's going to be generic advice based upon what worked for them or what the newspaper says about 10 years from now, this is the profession that's going to be the biggest profession. Disregard all of that advice. Instead, focus on what makes you passionate. If you were at age 7 years old, you were in the mud making mud pies, maybe you should be a pastry chef. Understand that there are certain things that come naturally to you that as a child or as a teenager or as a young adult can be great clues to what you could be successful at as an adult. And don't disregard those clues. Those clues are going to tell you a lot more than a career counselor could ever tell you because they're about you. They're not about some generic you. So in essence, be self-aware, understand what you're good at, and then go pursue that, even if it isn't conventionally wise to do that.
What is it all about? Going from point A to point B. There's only one way to go from point A to point B. The right way. Yeah? But I can go in thousands of other ways. But they're not the right way. Thousands of other ways. But you can go in thousands of other ways. But the right way to go is only one way, and that's the truth. That's focus. And it's all about perseverance. That's focus. You go on focusing, then you do it.
I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Thomas Edison. Mankind's Journey is a book that will not end for thousands, perhaps millions of years. The reason we continue to thrive against all odds is that of revolutionary minds of the past, the present, and the future.
Monuments and tributes are paid to people who have the courage to pursue their own vision and make their own dreams become a reality.
Innately, every human being has the capacity to rise beyond itself, to succeed when you think that you won't succeed, but to realize that to do all that, you need to stop and admire what you have around you.
And the final advice is go for it. The world is changing, your company is changing. Do what you think is right. You may not win, but at least you can look in the mirror and say, what the heck, at least I tried. Old people almost never regret the risk they took and failed. They almost always regret the risk they failed to take.
Who will join the next wave of pioneers? Will you stand up for change?
I hope you have enjoyed the video, the documentary film. And now wait a minute, and I would like to take the screenshot of all the participants. Thank you for the today's session. I'm ending the meeting here.
Thank you, madam.